woke up early again, but this day with a bit of a tight helmet after yesterday's exploration of the Wild West. We got on the bikes and rode to the nearest gas station to fill up. Then we went back into Tombstone and Allen Street to see the town in daylight, and of course the famous OK Corral. We set Clifton as the first destination of the day and headed off around 8 AM. The morning started like the days before, with long open plains and a few small towns here and there. Once again we were stopped in the border patrol control, but this time we knew exactly where our passports were placed. If you smile and be polite, you're on your way in no time. After a while, we stopped in the town of Wilcox for breakfast. We had some eggs and bacon and a giant glass of orange juice before continuing. We noticed a standstill on the interstate and congratulated ourselves for avoiding it yet again. Some locals told us a truck carrying hazardous materials had overturned and it would take many hours before traffic moved again. Eventually, we reached Coronado National Forest and finally got some curves and elevation we hadn't seen since leaving Big Bend National Park. We turned onto 191 heading north. Stopped to refuel and again noticed what political area we were in. From there into Clifton the road was varied and fun, and we stopped to look at the grim old prison carved out of the rock, the Clifton Cliff Jail. We rode past Clifton Town before riding off to Morenci, where we had lunch at Miner's Diner and Bar. The burger was just okay, and we continued, but only a couple of kilometers down the road, we spotted a bar with many motorcycles parked out front. We stopped inside and went into Michelle's place and ordered a beer. Here too, dollar bills were taped up on the walls and ceiling, so we gave Michelle a Norwegian 10 before moving on. Without realizing it, we had now begun US 191 between Morenci and Alpine. At first, we only noticed the road winding around with nice curves around the biggest pit we have ever seen. It turned out to be a massive copper and gold mine. We stopped a couple of times to take it in, then pressed on. Soon after passing the last of the mines, we saw the sign below. Curves, mountain grades, next 30 miles. These are roads that beat anything we've ever ridden in Scandinavia or the US. Hours of curve after curve after curve after curve. And when the road straightened out a bit, soon came another sign saying curves, mountain grades, next 24 miles or something like that. And all the while, we kept climbing. At one point we were higher than Galdhøpiggen, and a little later higher than the Stelvio Pass. We had to break for a couple of squirrels and a family out there, and nothing too risky. When we began the descent, we stopped at a lovely lodge thinking we'd get something to drink before continuing down to Alpine. There we met a sweet elderly lady sitting in a rocking chair on the porch who was thrilled that two Norwegians were going on a long journey through her beloved country. We went into Hannigan Meadows Lodge to buy something, but inside it was deserted. We tried the next building, but on the sofa between the shelves lay a fellow who could ease their ladder role as an extra in Deliverance. So we excused ourselves and left quickly. Back at the bike, the kind lady asked us if we had managed to get something to eat. We thanked her for the concern and assured her we'd be fine before riding down to Alpine, where we filled the tanks and bought some water. That's also when we realized that the US 191 is also known as the Devil's Highway, or US 666, and we were quite pleased that the chance has led us that way today. On the way out to Alpine, we saw a couple of GS bikes outside their motel and thought we'd check if there was a bar or something nearby before moving on. We got talking to a man sitting outside his room, but he told us no such thing was at the motel. His name was Jay, and he chatted with us for a while. Since he was so pleasant, we gave him a small bottle of aquavit, which he downed immediately. He told us he was traveling with some Germans in the area, but they were asleep now. As Jay was both a nice fellow and a fan of aquavit, we gave him another bottle before saying goodbye and headed toward Holbrook on Route 66. The 3 home rules on these trips are not to ride motorway, not to eat at chain restaurants, and never ride in the dark. We didn't make it to Holbrook without breaking one of those rules. 2 hours later, we rolled up to the motel, checked in, and went into town to Butterfield Stage Company's steakhouse. We ordered a porterhouse steak, and before long we were served pieces of meat bigger than our faces. After dinner, we strolled over to the Wigwam Motel and admired it for a while before heading back to our own motel and turning in for the night.